You are listening to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, episode number 188.
Welcome to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, where you will learn brand new and shockingly different tools to lose weight for the last time. And now, here's your host, certified life and weight loss coach, Laura Conley.
Hey, Yummy Mummies, what's going on? If you are listening to this on the day it comes out, Tuesday, June 18th, guess what? It's my birthday. Are you somebody that likes to celebrate their birthday or not so much? Clearly, you guys probably know what camp I fall in. I'm like, the whole month is dedicated to moi. So I'm recording this like a week before. I'll tell you how we're going to celebrate. We are going to have my psychic, who I'm obsessed with. Her name is Ruby. Her name's Ruby Wolf. And do you guys know my maiden name is Wolf, Laura Wolf? So I'm like, oh my God, it's so kismet. All of my friends in Colorado have been seeing her. I've been seeing her. So for my birthday party, we're going to have her come and do some readings. I'm so excited. I actually want to bring her to the Yummy Mummy Masters Retreat in November as well, because she's really special. I feel like she's so much more than a psychic. She has helped me change my life so much. I could do a whole episode on that. But that's how we are celebrating. We are going to have Ruby to the house, and me and all my girlfriends are going to have readings, and then we are going to go out to dinner with the hubs, with the husbands. So it's going to be a big, fun group, and I literally can't wait. And as that relates to weight loss and food freedom and just feeling good in my body, I just have to say, this is something that I would have dreaded 10 years ago. I would have been excited for my birthday for sure, but I would have been dreading the dinner out because I would be like, oh God, there's no way I'm going to be able to stick to my plan, or oh my God, I might as well throw in the towel now because I'm not going to be able to do it, and I'm not going to feel good in my outfit, and yada, yada, yada. And now guess what? I'm going to go. I'm going to feel amazing in my outfit. I'm going to eat according to plan. I'm going to wake up the next morning. I'm going to feel amazing. This is possible for you too. So if you are ready to lose weight for the last time and you're really ready for this to be the summer that it gets done, I want you to go to lauraconley.com and book a call. It's like a coffee chat. It's like a let me help you. Let me figure some stuff out with you. Let me hear what you're struggling with, and let's make a plan. I also have these calls open on my calendar for you to book so that we can talk about the Yummy Mummy experience, what that is. Are you a proper fit for it? So again, go to lauraconley.com if you want to book one of those calls, and we can go from there. Anyways, let's dive into this episode. I really wanted to share with you guys day one of the Summer of Me challenge because it was so special. And I have so many new listeners. And even if you're not a new listener, this episode is going to be excellent, because how do we learn best? We learn through repetition. I promise you, if you listen to this episode, you are going to get at least 3 pieces of aha. You are going to learn something different, even if you have already heard it. Trust me. We want to be embodying the practices that I teach, because when we embody them, we become them, and it becomes effortless for us to weigh what we want to weigh. So without further ado, here is day one of the Summer of Me challenge. Inside, you get to learn about healthy restriction and why it's important. You get to learn about crafting your plan. You get to hear my story, which I don't tell a lot. And my guess is you really can relate to it. So I'd love to hear what you think of this episode. Enjoy. And I will catch you next time or on a coffee chat with you. So I love you. Have the absolute best week ever. And I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hello. Welcome to the Summer of Me. We are going to dive right in. So first and foremost, let's kind of just do a little bit of housekeeping here. I want you guys to have all the dates and times in your calendar now. Now, this can be every single day at 9 a.m. Some days maybe you can't come live. So actually schedule your replay time. So if you know you can't be here live, schedule. This is one of the reasons, you guys, we haven't been able to have a Summer of Me. It's one of the reasons why we haven't lost weight for the last time. It's one of the reasons why we haven't created our health goals, is simply because we haven't scheduled it and then followed through on that scheduled item. And we're going to talk all about that. So first things first, get this in the calendar. If you feel like you're not where you want to be with your health, that it could be one of the reasons why. So get that baby in there right now. All right. So that's kind of housekeeping number one. Housekeeping number two, again, all notifications off. Give yourself the gift of being here. Now I say that and I'll contradict myself because I'm also totally cool. If you're folding laundry, if you're unloading the dishwasher, if you're going for a walk, if you're driving, we are busy moms, busy women. We've got full plates. So make this fit in. Every day, we're going to go about 45 to 60 minutes. So book out 60 minutes, but I will stay on if you guys have a lot of questions. I'm happy to stay on if you guys have tons of questions. Totally fine. So I've booked myself out for 90 minutes so that I can help you guys. I want you guys to think about when you're scheduling these, how can you make it super fun for yourself? Like maybe you love going for a walk, so take me on your walk with you. Make this something that you are really looking forward to every single day because it'll be so much easier. I mean, that is one of the reasons why the Yummy Mummy method works is because it is fun. We don't want to quit. We look forward to our coaching calls and to the modules, okay? So make it fun for yourself. How can you do that? Be as engaged as possible. So be in the Facebook group asking questions. I am going to be in there every day answering anything that you guys have. I will coach you in there. I will, again, answer anything. I'll offer extra resources. It's going to be super fun and engaging to be in the Facebook group. So be in that group if you're not in there already and be willing to be active. This container is very loving. You guys, if you're my client, if you've come to me through one of your friends, you know that this is a safe space, that this is a loving space. You can ask anything that you want to ask, and it will be met with love and understanding and compassion and gratitude for your other challenge members because they're probably a little scared, right? They probably don't want to ask the question that maybe you're brave enough to ask. Anything that you don't want to put on the Facebook group, or maybe you're not in Facebook and you want to ask us, just email team@lauraconley.com and we will answer anything. Okay, so that is kind of the housekeeping-ish stuff. We're going every day for 5 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it is going to be the best week ever. You guys are going to look back at this week and be like, that was the week it all changed for me. I'm not kidding. I promise you, I have the same exact moment. I'll tell you guys about that in a minute. But pinky promise, you will look back on this week. If you schedule this in and just do what I say, which is hard, stuff I'm going to tell you is really not that hard. Just do those things. You will be so successful. You will be unrecognizable by the end of the summer. The summer of me, the summer it gets done. Oh, I'm so excited for you guys. Okay, so you might be thinking, why is this worth my time? I really want you guys to know that if you want to lose weight for the last time, or you want to get a handle on your health, or you want to put yourself at the top of the priority list, or even in the top 3, you are in the right place. I'm going to teach you step by step exactly how to do that. You are going to walk away with an exact plan and the confidence to know how to follow through. You're going to have a deep knowing, a deep sense of confidence that you will know the next best step. When you implement what I teach you, you're going to save years of continuing the same patterns, years of yo-yoing. If you are like I used to be, I just yo-yoed for 20 years straight. Just gaining and losing. So I feel you if you're in that spot right now. So you are in the right spot by being here and dedicating yourself to these 5 days. Really, I want you guys to actually take a moment. It's kind of cheesy, but I'm kind of cheesy. I want you'll notice I put on lip gloss 4 times throughout our call. I'm kind of weird like that. Everybody makes fun of me for it. Don't care. So I want you guys really to just take a moment and be grateful to your past self. The past self that signed up for this. The self that was you 9 minutes ago that got yourself here. You did the hardest part. Keep going with this momentum. Good freaking job, you guys. Good job. Seriously. So let me give you guys a little bit of an intro. Who is this chick? You might be new to me. You might not have ever heard of me. You might not have listened to my podcast or stalked me on Instagram. Totally fine. So who is this chick? And like, why am I qualified to be teaching you the summer of me? So I've been a coach for almost 13 years, which is super fun. I left my job in corporate America coming up on 13 years. I was a drug rep, was a very great job, but it was not fulfilling for me. And so I left and I became a yoga teacher and a coach. And then about 6.5 years ago, I decided to let go of a lot of the yoga and meditation and really niche down. And what happened was I was 6 weeks postpartum. I was getting out of the shower. My sweet little baby Luna was in her bassinet in the bathroom, of course, with me in our tiny little bathroom in Santa Monica. We lived in like a 700 square foot apartment, like a couple blocks from the beach. It was pretty dreamy, but very small. So she's in the bathroom with me. She's like cooing up at me. And I have this out of body experience. I catch myself beating myself up for not bouncing back and getting in my pre-baby jeans. I was like criticized. I'm butt ass naked. I'm wet. And I am like, what's wrong with you? Why couldn't you get back in your jeans? Like, this is disgusting. I was like literally berating myself for the way that my body looked. And there she is cooing up at me. Now to add another layer, we had just gotten out of a 4-week hospital stay and she just fought for her life. Seriously, I'm not even being dramatic. Like, we really did not know if she was going to live or die. So in this moment, here she is, so healthy, perfectly healthy at this point, thank God. I'm beating myself up and I'm like, it was almost like the divine interrupted. And the divine or me or whatever was like shaking me, energetically shaking me like, hey, wake up. You keep this up, you're going to pass this down to her. And she just fought all the odds and is going to live. So we're going to give her the best life ever, the life that she deserves, which is not one where she is trying to eat an apple for lunch in the 9th grade. Not one where she is comparing herself to all her friends. Not one where she's trying to eat as little as possible and work out as much as possible. We are not passing that down to her. Prior to that moment, honestly, you guys, I had kind of accepted defeat. I really had. I was like, you know what? This is just going to be my thing. I'm going to be gaining and losing for the rest of my life. Gaining and losing, gaining and losing. Always beating myself up. Always crying in my closet because there was nothing to wear. Trying on a million outfits. Shying away from my husband when he was trying to, you know what, right? It was just, I have so many examples of the pain. And it was bad. It was like I was either on a green juice cleanse, right? Or like stuffing my face. So in that moment, I vowed to heal what I thought was really unhealable. I really thought that this was just it. And again, I was kind of like, you know, Laura, this isn't like that bad of a thing. Like, other people have worse things. But I was like, I'm going to pass this down to her. And I even had kind of this knowing of like, I could probably figure out the right things to say to her. But I knew she would inherit it. Even if I said all the right things, she would catch me looking at myself with disgust in the mirror. She would catch me turning away from my husband when he went to grab my waist in the kitchen. She would watch me try on 18 different outfits. I knew I would pass it down to her. So I went on a maniacal mission to solve this. I was like, I am going to heal my relationship with my body and food, and I'm going to weigh what I want because I'm here for like, I want it all. Sometimes I get really annoyed at myself that I want it all. But I'm like, I want it all. There has to be a way. There has to be. So through taking some of my past, taking some of the yoga practices and the meditation, mindfulness practices, also using one of my coaches, Brooke Castillo, who I love. At the time, she had a weight loss training. And I already loved her so much and was using so much of her coaching in my coaching practice that I got certified, learned a lot about blood sugar balance, learned a lot about mindset, learned a lot about emotions, and kind of took my background and added to it. I mean, it's like the long story short. This was like a 6-month process of a deep dive, and really came up with the Yummy Mummy method. And it was like 6-ish months later, I was like, it was that same feeling. Like, I was like, oh no, you're not going to pass this down to Luna. It was the same feeling of like, oh, you actually have cracked the code, which sounds unbelievable. It does. It really still feels kind of crazy to me, like that I'm free of this. So in that moment, I was like, I have to free the moms. Like I have to free the moms. We are, then the women, you don't have to have a kid to come into the Yummy Mommy. My point is, I need to go out and teach everyone, anyone who is willing to listen, what I've learned and what I've implemented. And 6 years later, I still have lost weight for the last time, and I've helped hundreds and hundreds of women do the same. It is like my calling, one of my callings. I believe we have many callings in life. One of my callings to free the mom. So that is what this week is dedicated to. The summer of me, the summer of you finally feeling free in your body and your skin. The summer of me. Maybe it should be the summer of free. Anyways, I love naming stuff. So the summer of me. That is what these 5 days are dedicated to helping you set up, right? Because it's not just 5 days. This isn't like on day 5, we're done. No, this is the foundation. This is just the setup, okay? Let's talk a little bit about why we are where we are, right? It's really hard to know where we're going unless we really talk a little bit about like where we're at and why we are here. Now, I want to be loud and clear about this. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing. You're perfect. Perfectly imperfect. Gorgeous, freaking stardust being. Love you so much. But it really helps to understand why it hasn't worked, why we feel like we're banging our heads against the wall with this. And I want you guys thinking like, okay, am I picking up what she's putting down? Is this me? Do I relate to this? Does this resonate for me? Where are you right now? And what do you want moving forward? So I'm guessing you don't want to just lose weight to lose weight for the sake of losing weight. It's what losing weight will be like for you. Like, what is the experience of life when you weigh what you want to weigh? So let's talk about that. Most of my clients say they just want to be done, right? They just want to be done with this. They want to be confident. They want to be able to just be present. They want to, and this is probably you again, they want to stop thinking about it all the time, over calculating, over planning the workouts. They really want to see like what's possible when I have the space in my mind to have energy, to wake up being excited for the day. I cannot tell you that is like one of the best gifts that this methodology has given me is like the energy that I wake up with on a daily basis. I really genuinely love my life. And part of that is because I love the experience of being in my body. It's really hard to be really present and to really fully, wholeheartedly love your life when you feel a little icky, when you don't feel like 100% like yourself, right? Again, nothing is wrong with you. And we're going to go into why nothing's wrong with you. And basically, it's our culture's fault, the conditioning we've gotten, okay? So my clients come to me and they say they just want to like get dressed and it be fun. They just want to be able to like pick out whatever they want. They want to go shopping in their closet. They want to play with their kids, right? They want to plan vacations and have fun social events without this was me. I was always half dreading the social events. Oh, great. This will be fun, except for like, now I can't get to my goals. No, the Yummy Mommy method is all about and in both. It's all about you can have it all. It's not a compromise. Oh, my clients just want, and I'm sure this is you too, this was me, to have a healthy relationship with food in their body so that it passes down to your kids and your sons and your daughters. Because I do believe I have a son who's, how old is he? 4.5. And I want to pass this down to him too. My husband actually had a little bit of a fucked up relationship with his body until like way into adulthood, right? So I think it's really important for our boys too. So my guess is you don't want to keep feeling like a failure. You don't want to waste time like spinning your wheels and just doing another thing that's really the same thing that you did, but wrapped up in a different package. If you're like me, you want to stop throwing in the towel, this like back and forth, this yo-yo, the constant negative self-talk. And for some of us, we don't even realize that we're talking negatively to ourselves. We don't. We feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm actually not that mean. But if you feel this like low level, meh, like you feel like this like little bit of a black cloud, It's because there's this talk track happening in the background of your mind that you've just gotten so used to, and it just makes you feel meh. I remember like back in my dieting and yo-yo days, it'd be like 2:30 p.m. I'd be like, "God, why am I having such a shitty day? Like, why don't I feel good? Like, what's going on?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I weighed myself this morning and I didn't like the number." And it just sort of hung over me all day. So my guess is you don't want to be worried that your kids will inherit this. You don't want the constant guilt and shame. I felt so jealous of my like skinny friends. It was so annoying. You want this to stop getting in the way of your relationships. Your relationship with, like, if you have a romantic partner, is it's a romantic party now, um, or your friendships. I would like want to cancel plans, and sometimes I would because I was like, I just don't have anything to wear, and I feel so disgusting. So at this, I'm not going. The problem is that we have been misdiagnosing the problem. Have you guys ever had something misdiagnosed, and because of it, you were applying the incorrect solution? I had some gut stuff, and I just kept taking like probiotics and prebiotics, and like, it wasn't working. Nothing was going on. Then I got my poop tested. They diagnosed the problem. I took some supplements, and it was gone because we had the problem diagnosed properly. And so the same thing is going on here, but nobody tells us. Again, you're not wrong or bad. No one has told you. So good job getting here today. So what do we think the problem is? We think the problem is that there's something wrong with us. Like maybe I am an actual unicorn. Like maybe my thyroid really is screwed up, even though my doctor said it wasn't, right? Maybe this is just my fate. Maybe it's just my family, it's like Irish settlers, and we're all supposed to be big boned. Like this is just who I am. Maybe you think that the problem is you just don't have enough willpower. Maybe you think you're not doing the right workouts, or not enough workouts, or like maybe I should be doing HIIT 3 times, and then like, oh, maybe I need more resistance training. Maybe you feel like I'm just not creating enough of a deficit, or I'm not counting my macros well enough, right? This is what you think the problem is. Hint, this is not the problem. Maybe you think the problem is like, oh, I just don't have enough time. If I just had more time, then I could weigh what I wanted to. Maybe I'm just saying yes to too many social events. Maybe I need to just cancel my whole entire social life. Nope. Those are not the problems. So when we think that is the problem, which it's not, those are the problems. The solution that we apply when we think the problem is things I just listed, what do we perceive as a solution? The next new diet, to just try harder, to just muster up more willpower, to just do better, to schedule better, to get a trainer, to get a nutritionist, to just eat less than 1,000 calories, to stop drinking, to do the cleanse, to do a detox, to do the thing that worked before. Guys, the thing that worked before didn't work because you're here now. My brain used to do that all the time. Oh, I know. I'm going to go back on Atkins because that worked. But no, it didn't because I keep quitting it. Okay? Not the solution. So when you apply those solutions, what are the results that you create? Overthinking, more weight gain, or at least no loss, right? You're just kind of flatlining. Big waste of time, energy, resources, headspace. You're not living the life that you really want, right? Like the weight is in the weight, the physical weight, the emotional weight, the mental weight. I would even go as far as like the energetic and spiritual weight. Like the physical weight can cause all those other heaviness up the weights. More shame, more guilt, right? So what is the actual problem? We need to diagnose the actual problem. So the actual problem is, number one, your hunger hormones are not balanced and you need to balance them. No big deal. This is actually really easy. Well, I think it's like 88% of Americans do not have balanced hunger hormones. Again, nothing is wrong with you. Remember, when I'm going through the actual problem, remember this, it's not you. You are not Taylor Swift. The problem is not you. Okay? So that's one. Your hunger hormones are not balanced and you don't have a plan to balance your hunger hormones, which is what we're going to create today. It's going to be so fun. 2, your brain is wired as a diet brain. Your thoughts, you guys, your thoughts create your feelings, which create your actions. Okay? So just think about thoughts, feelings, actions. So your brain is wired as a diet brain. You guys ever created a new habit anytime you create a new habit, you rewire your brain so that your brain will perform the habit almost automatically without too much effort so that you get the result that you want. Right now, your brain is performing habits that is giving you results you don't want, like just automatically ordering dessert or just going back for seconds, or it's just automatically performing habits that don't serve you. So we have to rewire your brain so that it automatically, which is really cool, so you don't have to think about it so much, automatically just performs the habits that give you the results that you want, that give you weighing what you want, you loving being in your body. Okay, so we're going to rewire your brain. Number 3, you have a little bit of an over desire for food. Okay, totally fine. Most of us have a little bit of an over desire for food. Nothing's wrong with you. This is how we've been trained in our culture. A little bit of an over desire for food. That will cause you to overeat food, and that will cause you to be over your natural weight or your dream weight. Okay, your natural weight, your dream weight. People always ask, what does that mean? What does natural weight mean? Whatever you think your dream come true weight is probably your natural weight. Your natural weight is the weight that you will weigh when you are using food for what it is for. This is just what I believe. Most of the time. Not all the time. There's room for treats and pasta and all the things. When you are using food for what it is for, most of the time you will bottom out at your natural weight. How cool is that? So cool. So we're going to lower your desire. So it's a natural desire. And then you will eat a natural amount. You'll bottom out at your natural weight. So you just have an over desire for food, which we can easily solve for. Number 4, okay? Emotional hunger, emotional eating is at play. This was a huge one for me. I was like, I'm not an emotional eater. I don't eat emotionally. No, totally good. I was. Anytime you are eating and you're not hungry, it's an emotional eat. You're not bad or wrong. Another thing we've been trained to do is to use food to fix, to soothe, to escape, to avoid our uncomfortable emotions. Emotions are just vibrations. We can actually learn how to feel them instead of eat them. So if hunger isn't the problem, food isn't the solution. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then lastly, you don't have real accountability, okay? There's a couple other things in here too, but real loving accountability where somebody's like checking on you. Eventually you will learn the skill of inner accountability, which is so cool. Inner accountability is when you say to yourself, I'm going to do that, and then you follow through. It's a skill you can learn. Kind of the bonus that I like to talk about, one of the parts of the problem is you're not having fun. You're not enjoying it. You're not loving yourself along the way. We're going to talk about that this week too. And that is really important. We have to learn to have fun. We have to learn that there's no end date on our health, right? We're taught 75 hard, 21 day fix, whole 30, that there's an end date. There's no end date. This is a forever practice. Will you heal your relationship with your body and with food? Yes, you will. And it's a daily practice, but if you love it and it's fun, you don't want to quit. You actually look forward to it. Like, I know if that's blowing your mind and you're like, you don't really believe me, that's normal. Just trust me for this week, okay? Moving on a little bit. I just want to talk to you guys a little bit. I mean, you guys probably have a sense, but if those are the actual problems, right? Your hunger hormones aren't balanced. You don't have a plan that balances them. Your brain is wired as a diet brain. You have an over desire for food. Emotional hunger, emotional eating is at play. No real accountability. And then the bonus is like there's no fun love. Right? So that's the actual problem. Those are the actual things keeping you from your dream weight. So good news, we're going to work on those this week. So the actual solution, you guys are smart. I'm pretty sure you can deduce that we're going to create a custom plan that you love. Crazy, right? That's why the loving part comes in. That balances your hunger hormones. It makes it effortless for you to lose weight. Yes, there will be moments where it's hard, but for the most part, this will be the easiest thing that you have ever done to lose weight. I promise you, you will be blown away. Okay? So that's the actual solution. Create a custom plan that you love that balances hormones. Learn how to honor your plan and how to want to honor your plan. That's part of the actual solution. Rewire your brain to a yummy, yummy mind and not a diet brain. So you automatically just use food for what it is, for fuel. Most of the time. Remember, there's room for your creme brulee and your pastas and your whatevers. Another part of the solution, feel feelings. Celebrate in other ways. Other part of the solution, put yourself in a container where there is accountability until you learn how to really have your own back. Again, we're going to teach you that in here. So skills to develop, and we're going to work on those this week, right? I want you guys, and this will be in your homework. I'm going to give you homework every single day. I want you guys writing stuff down every day. So you could call that writing stuff down. You could call it journaling. Other skills that we're going to learn, you're going to learn allow power. It's the opposite of willpower. You're going to learn how to start coaching yourself. You're going to learn how to start feeling feelings. You're going to learn how to get coaching. That's a huge piece of this. Ask for help. You're really going to learn the skill of true habit change. And you're going to learn the skill of not quitting, right? We're going to give you a taste of all of, no pun intended, we're going to give you a taste of all of these different skills because this, I've just given you guys, this is the code. This is what cracks. This is the code that cracks it. The answer. You didn't think there was an answer to. The secret. I'm giving it to you. I feel like, why is everybody not talking about this? So when you apply the actual solution with these skills, what do you create? What is the results that you create? Permanent weight loss. Seriously, you guys. It's like, I told you, I still can't believe it. I'm like, babe, can you believe I'm over this? And I'm not like, I would make him like, on the way to the party, I'd be like, don't let me eat too many cupcakes. I'd be like, make sure I'm not hanging out at the cheese tray. He's so happy that he doesn't like, that the drama's done. He's like, I'm just happy because you're so much happier. It's so freeing. The results created permanent weight loss. Your dream comes true weight forever. Food freedom forever, right? So like getting dressed is fun. Feeling confident is fun or enjoyable if you don't like the word fun. Doing your life the way you want to do it. Naturally passing down this legacy to your kids so they just don't inherit it. Like literally we're changing from generation to generation. It's so cool. You actually like being with yourself. What a concept. I feel like this is really important because we're going to be with ourselves every single day for the rest of our lives. Might as well enjoy it. Better relationships, more connection. So many more too, right? I could go on and on. Okay. So I just wanted to give you guys a little kind of preamble on where you most likely are, where you most likely want to go, and how to do that. So today is really dedicated to creating your perfect weight loss plan. Now, why do we need to have a plan? Like, do you guys ever feel like, oh, I don't want to have a plan. I just want to eat what I want, whenever I want, and weigh what I want. Yeah, if I had the magic pill for that, I would give it to you. I really wouldn't though, because then you would miss the opportunity to do all this root work. That's the Yummy Mommy method. It is solving the problem at the root. It is not a Band-Aid. It is not a magic pill, okay? They don't work. Magic pills just don't work. Now, side note, if you are on Ozempic or semaglutide or you're interested in doing it, fine, great. Perfect for some people. I really highly recommend it. You pair it with true, real habit change. Because some of you guys don't want to be on it forever. Also, sometimes it can start to not work. Some of us get really bad side effects, right? So you really want to be pairing, because people are calling it a magic pill. I'm like, it's still not a magic pill. You want to be pairing it with true habit change, with true mindset change, with true learning how to feel your feelings, with accountability, with fun love, with balancing your hunger hormones, right? You want to pair it with this method, even if you're using it. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. If you guys have more questions, that's fine. So let's see. What is the point of a plan? Think of it like any result that you have created, there probably was some intention behind it, a plan behind it, a protocol. Now, it might not have been really black and white, but there was a how. And so this is your how. Your plan is designed, and everyone's plan is going to look a little bit different, okay? So your plan is designed to balance your hunger hormones. What are hunger hormones? What? Insulin, leptin, and ghrelin. So insulin, for most of us, we're on this like big insulin roller coaster all day. Blood sugar roller coaster, right? Every time you eat, unless you're just eating a little tiny bit of protein or fat, every time you eat, your insulin is going to rise. Now, what we want it to do is we want it to do these nice little rolling hills. We don't want it to do these giant peaks and valleys, because that causes us to not weigh what we want, right? When you get a huge uptick in your blood sugar, guess what happens? It cues a release of insulin, and it's like store fat. Insulin is a fat storage hormone. No one teaches us this. So when you get a big spike, insulin is released, store fat, store fat, store fat. You are also in this time, in this moment, unable to release the fat that is currently on your body. Triple whammy, because then you crash. You guys ever been like starving 2 hours after you eat breakfast? Have you ever been really hungry the next morning after a big dinner out? Yeah, because you're having a crash. Your hormones are crashing. It's not true physical hunger. Then you are eating when you actually don't need food, but it feels like you need food. It feels like an emergency, right? So you want these nice rolling hills. So our plan, and how do we balance our hunger hormones? We move away from processed foods that we probably don't want to be eating for many other health reasons, okay? This is focused on weight loss, but the health benefits are like massive. They're exponential. Like I could have a whole hour talking about how your health will improve when you balance your hunger hormones. Your sex hormones improve. Your likelihood for many cancers goes significantly down. Your likelihood for type 2 diabetes, type 3 diabetes, or calling it Alzheimer's, dementia, metabolic disease, all of those diseases, your likelihood of getting them when your hunger hormones are balanced and you weigh your natural weight, significantly reduced, right? And that's why I love to teach my clients have a very strong why. You want to live to dance with your granddaughter at her wedding, right? Do you want to be able to play with your kids now? Like, what is your why? We're going to get into that later. But the point of the plan that we are going to co-create together today is to balance your hunger hormones. Because when they're going like this, you will lose the weight, the excess fat on your body, because you won't be spiking and cueing your body store fat, store fat, store fat. You will also become fat adapted. What does fat adapted mean? Fat adapted means that your body can use the fat on your body for fuel without a big temper tantrum. Right now, you can't use the fat on your body for fuel, but your brain is going to have a huge temper tantrum and it's not going to want to do it. It's going to want you to go to the fridge, it's not going to want to go to a love handle or like a little inner thigh situation. It's going to want you to go to the pantry or the fridge for food. That's its favorite source. But when you are fat adapted and you're insulin sensitive versus insulin resistant, your body doesn't actually really care. It's like, oh, I can get a little snack off my ass, right? It doesn't care. And that is so freeing because you don't have to pull over. Hunger is no longer an emergency when your hunger hormones are balanced and you're losing weight, okay? So I'm going to give you guys some options. I like to offer like a protocol platter, a plan platter, and you pick 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 things off the platter to be your plan, okay? And then what are we going to do? We're going to start to learn to honor that plan. We're also going to learn what to do if we don't honor that plan. Hint, we're not going to throw in the towel. We're not going to be doing that anymore. It's a huge reason why we haven't lost weight. Really, we've been taught perfection when it comes to dieting. Just, it's so asinine. Like we're like, oh, I ate my kids' Cheetos. I guess I'll start January 1st, 2025. No, every moment is a Monday morning moment. So we're going to go deep into that. But what I want to talk to you guys about is your plans. Again, we need a plan if we want, and don't confuse it with dieting. If you have some triggers like I did with dieting, can you see this as something else, as something different? We've tried under restricting and over restricting. We need healthy restriction, and that is what this plan is. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about restriction in a second. So what should your plan be? What should you be eating and what should you not be eating so that you can balance your hunger hormones? Now, I want to give you a little bit more of a carrot too. When your hunger hormones are balanced, you just feel like $1,000,000 freaking bucks. Your energy is through the roof. Have you ever been like annoyed at that one friend, like, oh, I forgot to eat lunch? I would be like, I would never forget to eat lunch. What are you, psycho? I will forget to eat lunch. I will forget to eat because my hunger hormones are so balanced and because I'm so fat adapted. It's such a nice way to live. It's not an emergency, okay? Let's see. I want to see if you guys have any questions so far. So if your hunger hormone's imbalanced, does this mean you don't get hungry? Okay, great question. Or is it just that it won't be that ravenous hunger that makes you want to take everyone out until food is in your mouth? You got it. You hit the nail on the head. So when you are getting that crash, right? That is hormonal hunger. Literally, you guys, my husband and I were getting in these nothing fights night after night. This was way back in the day, like 15 years ago. And he was like, I think that like we're just getting in these fights because you're hangry. And I was like, screw you, because I was probably hangry. But I was like, when I calmed the F down, I was like, actually, you know what? You're totally right. I'm getting hangry because of the way my day was set up and because of the way I was eating. This was before I healed all of my drama. And I was like, yeah, you're totally right. So hunger is not true physical hunger, right? So I like to talk about 3 types of hunger. True physical hunger, and that, to your question, Jennifer, is just like a gentle rolling of like, we need to eat soon, right? Like the first time you're like, oh, I kind of need to pee, right? It's not an emergency that you need to pee. You'll go pee in 5 minutes when you get off the call, right? It's not a huge thing, right? Like, I feel a little tired. Are you like, I must take a nap right now? Sometimes. But most of the time, I'm like, I'm feeling a little tired. Maybe I'll have a little coffee. Maybe I'll lay down and have a 20-minute nap in 10 minutes when this call's over. Get my point? True physical hunger is just gentle rolling hunger. We can't hear that because our hunger hormones are so imbalanced. So it's like, So oftentimes we are eating when we're not hungry. I didn't go into it because I didn't want to go like so deep into the science of it, but leptin and ghrelin are also imbalanced. When you're going like that, your leptin and your ghrelin are in charge of telling you when you're hungry and telling you when you're satisfied and you've had enough, and telling your body when it needs to move. And those are imbalanced. So oftentimes your body won't cue you when you've had enough, and it'll tell you you're hungry or hangry when you actually don't need food. So there's so many benefits to balancing your hunger hormones, one of which is losing weight and weighing your natural weight. It's just, it's beautiful. Why is everyone not talking about this? This is a secret, you guys. Okay, so I want to give you guys a platter that you guys pick from. And then I'm going to talk to you guys about healthy restriction, and then I want to open it up, okay? So I like to offer no sugar, no flour, no eats after 8 p.m., maybe like 7 p.m. if you go to bed at like 9, right? You get to pick the time. No eats after, fill in the blank. No seconds, no snacks, okay? This is the protocol platter that you get to pick from. Of course, if there's something else that you really want to add, you're more than welcome to do that. We go a little bit more in depth inside the Yummy Mummy, but for this week and these purposes, this is what you want to pick from, okay? No sugar. If you need help defining that, I will help you, okay? I don't recommend that you give up fruit. I love fruit. This is like no processed sugar. When I say no processed sugar or no sugar, I mean no processed sugar. I do like to include honey and maple syrup in that because those will spike you. I love for you guys to keep eating. If you eat like stevia or monk fruit sweetener, I think those are totally fine. Those will not spike you. So pick no sugar, no processed sugar, I should say, will probably give you the most bang for your buck. Okay. So if you can do that, I would highly recommend it. No sugar, no flour. Do you guys know what flour is? These 2 things are white powdery substances that we created a couple hundred years ago because it was easy. And because we get a big dope, I mean, within the last, let's say now 50, 60 years, the food industry has really screwed us because it's actually gotten us addicted. You guys see the science behind it? Go look at a brain addicted to sugar and a brain addicted to heroin. Very similar. Sugar and flour is not bad or wrong. It's just, are these white powdery substances serving us? Do we want to keep eating them? So no sugar, no flour, no eats after fill in the blank, right? 7 p.m., 8 p.m. What did I say? No seconds. That's usually an emotional eat. You're usually not hungry after your first serving. And then no snacks. Same thing. Usually emotional eating. Oh, I'm a little bored. Right? Like I did not identify as a huge emotional eater. I wasn't like so stressed and eating a pint of ice cream followed by a bag of chips followed by like my kids' leftovers. I was like, I'm a little bored. I'm going to go get a handful of snacks. Oh, I wonder if my neighbor has any chocolate. Oh, I'm a little restless. I want this. Oh, this party isn't very fun. I think I'll have another cupcake. That'll make it fun. Right? So it can be subtle. Okay. Oh, I don't want them to think something about me. I don't want them to think I'm weird. So I guess I will have the pasta. Whatever. Fill in the blank thing. You guys, there are hundreds and hundreds of foods that you can eat that don't have sugar and flour. A lot of you guys will be like, oh my God, what am I going to eat if I don't eat sugar and flour? I know. I had the same reaction. Well, not really, because I had memorized every diet that exists in the world. So I knew, but I just want to like announce to you guys that there are hundreds and hundreds of foods that you can eat that will not spike your blood sugar and your insulin and cause a big crash, that will fuel you and help you get to your dream come true weight. Hundreds and hundreds of foods. So moving away from processed foods into whole foods. Okay. So, and you guys get to decide if you do no flour, does that mean no almond flour? Does it mean no rice flour? Does it mean no chickpea flour? Like there's lots of flours. Most of those flours will still spike you. But again, you want this to be doable. So notice if your diet brain is rearing its head and it's like, yeah, let's do everything. But you know thyself, right? If you do everything I'm offering, are you going to be desperate to quit? Okay. And I'm going to teach you how to not quit. I'm going to teach you how to want to follow through. I'm going to teach you how to love it. So you'll know. If you need help knowing, let me know. Wheat flour that's flour. Yeah. So there's all different types of flours, but I would say if you're saying no flour, you're saying no wheat flour for sure. Rice. I love rice. I would keep rice. I would eat rice. I wouldn't eat like 3 cups of rice because that will spike you. But if you have rice with the rest of your meal, you won't most likely get as big of a spike. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. Some of my clients, and it depends where we are. Are we 30? Are we 35? Are we 40? Are we getting into perimenopause, right? I have a lot of perimenopause clients. If you are in perimenopause, you want to do the Yummy Mummy method because you'll have a much easier time when your hunger hormones are balanced. Your hunger hormones directly affect your sex hormones. I'm not saying that it's going to be a walk in the park. If you do the Yummy Mummy method, that it'll be a walk in the park with perimenopause, but it'll be a whole lot better. So I say keep rice, keep potatoes. Again, my point was going to be, I will get clients that will be down to like their last 5 pounds and they have to scale back on rice and potatoes. Like maybe they were still eating all the French fries. It's like, yeah, we're probably going to have to scale back a little bit on the French fries and the rice if you want to get where you're going. Now, I have tons of clients that just keep eating rice and potatoes and they get to their dream weight. I eat rice and potatoes. And not at every meal. I just have to use sparingly. And it's great because I have learned to detach my emotions from what I eat. I still enjoy my food. I remember when my son was born, I had healed all this, right? And he was having some stomach stuff. So we were thinking I was going to have to give up a lot of different things. It turned out I didn't have to, but I was going to have to give up dairy, which is like my favorite. Like I love cheese. I love my half and half in my coffee. It was so interesting because I didn't care. I was like, okay, yeah, it might suck a little bit, but like, because I've done this work, I don't care because my emotions are not tied to what I'm eating and not eating because of the Yummy Mummy method. Oh, you guys had some good questions. I would keep the potatoes. I would keep starchy vegetables for right now. You can probably get very close to your dream weight keeping those in. And I don't want you guys going into all or nothing mentality right now. I don't want you ever going into all or nothing mentality because what happens when you like cut all the carbs, all the things, you quit. So I would keep a baked potato. And if you could do like half of a baked potato, that will be better for your hunger hormones. But if you like really need a whole one, you can still get there. Let's see. Oh, I have a hard time giving up coffee like the sugar kind. How can I stop? Ooh, that's a good question. I'm probably going to tell you to have a Band-Aid. Like, it might suck a little bit, right? But that's where your why comes in. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Probably not today, probably tomorrow. We'll talk about our whys, right? Like you're giving up the coffee with the sugar And while we will be doing all the root work, I do actually love Band-Aids. So like I just recommended a Band-Aid, cold brew with half and half with stevia. Chef's kiss. Love. So we're like, my daughter, she had surgery, like abdominal open surgery. And they healed her condition at the root. She still had to have a Band-Aid as it was healing. Like, it's totally fine. You have a Band-Aid. So you're going to hack it. Don't they have sugar-free caramel? See if they have sugar-free caramel. So you're going to have to create your own Band-Aid with this. And you're going to have to feel, remember how we talked about feeling feelings? You're going to have to feel a little sad. You can mourn the loss of your caramel macchiato. It's going to be really hard for you to weigh what you want having caramel macchiatos. I'm just going to be real with you. I'm going to be straight. Now, what I highly recommend, I'm glad you brought this up, Courtney, is that you plan for one yummy mummy munchie every week. So every week you plan to have a caramel macchiato, or you're like last night I had a big dinner out and it was at this Italian place. So I planned to have pasta last night. One thing, it's not a whole cheat day. It's not a whole cheat meal, because a whole cheat meal could turn into like a caramel macchiato and then a cocktail and then dessert and then pasta and then bread with olive oil. And it's like your hunger hormones are going to be effed. So one thing per week, and you can look forward to it. Is Cool Whip no sugar or processed food? Okay. Yes, it is. And I think you should keep it. The land of and in both, right? Like some of the people that I love in the health space, they're very rigid. I'm going to be like, keep your Diet Cokes. Keep your Cool Whip for now. And if you decide later on in life, hey, Cool Whip's not serving me, great. We could talk about it then. But for right now, we're not cutting all the things. We're not cleaning out your whole entire pantry unless you want to. No. One step at a time. 1% at a time. I know it doesn't give you a huge hit, like a huge dopamine hit, but that's what works. Clearing out your entire pantry, saying no to every freaking food group. P.S. Sugar and flour are not food groups. They're not. They're substances created to get us addicted. Sorry. Not wrong or bad. Just are they serving us? I'm going to keep answering questions, but I want to do a quick spiel on healthy restriction. You all most likely have tried over-restricting and under-restricting. Over-restriction. What happens when you go on a psycho-crazy diet? You over-restrict. And when you over-restrict, you create an over-desire. And when you create an over-desire that you literally cannot handle, you will overeat. Have you guys seen it? Have you been there? Or have you been there? Then you notice you've overeaten. You're like, oh, gotta go on a green juice cleanse. Over-restrict. Friday night of the green juice cleanse, eat all the pizza. Oh shit, I just ate all the pizza. Okay, I'm gonna intermittent fast for 24 hours. Over-restriction causes over-desire, causes you to overeat. It is a sick effing cycle that you can't get out of, okay? Lots of willpower being used here. Willpower doesn't work. It is not a renewable resource, okay? A lot of us have under-restricted. I'm just gonna eat whatever I want, whenever I want. I'm just gonna really work on loving my body. You guys, you loving your body and wanting to lose weight, you're allowed to do both. This is another tangent real quick. But you can love your body and want to change it. I used to feel so much shame because I was like a yoga teacher. I was like supposed to, just be, no, I didn't feel good. So me listening to that calling, that whisper of like, no, we don't actually feel good in our skin. And it's ironic because the way that extra weight got onto my body was from me not loving myself. And then when I finally listened to my desire to lose weight, I actually learned to love myself. So ironic. Under-restricting means eating whatever you want, whenever you want for the most part. Doesn't work. They both don't work. We have tested both of them. Okay? You guys have all the data. Let's try the middle path. Healthy restriction. No sugar, no flour, no eats after 8. Whatever your plan's going to be. I would love to hear it in the Q&A. I would love to hear it in the Facebook group too. What is your plan going to be? Think of anything you've created in your life. Kids, a marriage, a career, not being a felon. I'm not kidding. Anything that you have in your life is because you have applied healthy restriction. You're not at bars making out with boys. Nope, you're not, even if you want to. You're not, because you have a vow. You have a commitment. We're going to talk about commitment this week too. You have a commitment to your partner. I'm teasing, but I'm not teasing. You have a commitment. You talk about the hard things with your partner because you're committed. It feels a little tight. It feels a little restriction. You do not email your boss and say the things you actually want to say, right? When he makes you do X, Y, Z, or he asks you to do X, Y, Z. No, because you have a certain result that you want in your career and in your job. Same with your parenting. Same with your sleep. You're not up the whole night watching Netflix. At some point, you restrict yourself and you go to bed. We use healthy restriction in every other area. And somewhere down the line, we got this concept that we shouldn't have to restrict when it comes to eating. It's complete BS. In order to create whatever result we want to create in our life, we are going to have to restrict in some way, in some fashion. Okay, a list of processed food would be great. Yogurt, cream cheese, bacon. Okay, so I'm just saying let's move away from processed sugar. Let's not worry about all the processed foods. And I think processed foods is kind of a scale. Like yogurt, I actually don't consider that a processed food. Cream cheese, no. Let's just say no. Right? It's nuanced. It's actually very nuanced and subjective. What I care about is that we are moving away from processed sugar and flour because that's what spikes you. Cream cheese is totally fine. I eat it all the time. Yogurt, Greek yogurt, all the time. Greek yogurt will have natural sugar in it, natural like sugars from dairy. Courtney, I'll bring you on in a second. And that's totally fine. Okay? Don't drink like skim milk that has tons of natural sugar. That will probably spike you. You can just ask. Bacon. I love bacon. Eat bacon. Are sweet potato fries better for you than white potato fries? Please explain. It depends. I would say no. I'd say they're the same. I've worn a CGM, that's a continuous glucose monitor, and tested it. I get the same spike from both. So again, you guys can look these up if you want to on the glycemic index, or you can just ask me. I just think it's the same. Get what you like. If you're going to eat fries, get which ones you like. Do you consider wine, hard liquor a cheat? No, I don't. For example, did you have wine with your pasta? Yeah, I had a lot of effing wine last night. I mean, not a lot, but a couple glasses for sure. I do not consider that a cheat, which is going to be why you're going to love me if you like wine. I really believe that you can weigh what you want and drink moderately. I really do. Like my clients know, I love red wine. I love red wine. And I can weigh what I want and drink red wine. That's the test. That's the barometer, right? It's like, can I weigh what I want and drink red wine? I can. So who knows? Maybe in 10 years when I'm in like the throes of perimenopause, it might not be true. It's okay. I can adjust. These plans are adjustable. It's like the scientific method. Do you guys remember the scientific method? What is it? You create a hypothesis, which we've just done. If I eat on plan, I will balance my hunger hormones and lose weight. Okay, that's our hypothesis. Now, for the next week, 2 weeks, we're going to go out and test it. Now, you're going to be losing weight the whole way. Don't worry. 2 weeks in. You know what? I'd like to actually lose weight, but at a faster rate. Okay, that's going to mean I am going to have to do no flour. Or it is going to mean I'm going to have to stop eating after 8 p.m. or whatever, right? You can add something in. You test a new hypothesis, right? So you have a hypothesis. You go out and test it. You collect data, and then you look at that data. You analyze that data, and then you iterate. Maybe you create a new hypothesis. Maybe you're like, no, I like the rate that I'm losing weight. I want to keep going. So cool, right? Scientific method. Works for everything. So I do, yeah, again, so when it comes to alcohol, you are not going to be able to lose weight if you're drinking sugar margaritas and pina coladas and all that all the time. What I recommend is like dry red wine, dry white wine, rosé, that's all fine. Dry, not sugary, not like, I don't know, don't drink like dessert wine. And then like hard liquor, vodka, clear liquor with things that don't have like vodka soda. Great, go for it. Sometimes I like tequila, bunch of lime juice. A lot of places will do skinny margaritas too. Hopping on the back of the coffee crutch. My coffee crutch is nut milk with sugar-free vanilla syrup or Swerve brown sugar substitute or Diet Coke. Lately, I've been using vanilla protein shakes, no added sugar as my cold brew add-in. I'm aware it's not great, but also sugar-free-ish. Well, is it sugar-free or is it not sugar-free? What's the ish? I want to know more about that because all this sounds fine. I wonder what your nut milk is, though. I want to know more about that. Careful of like oat milk. Oat milk has a lot of sugar. Should all nut milks be unsweetened? Yes, they should. My favorite granola. Yeah, what the hell is the name of that favorite granola? It's from Costco. You guys, we just got on the Costco bandwagon. We're living the suburban dream. We moved from LA to Colorado 5 years ago, and I'm living my best suburban life. I love it so much. But I resisted Costco for so long, and now I'm into it, and the granola's at Costco. You guys, don't worry about the processed. Don't worry about it. Seriously, do not. Like, nut milk is processed. It's minimally processed. What I'm talking about is like Cheetos. You know what I mean. Just if you stay away from processed sugar and flour, you'll be so happy. I will say, if you eat a lot of processed sugar and flour and you come off of it, you might have a little withdrawal. In that case, you're going to want to make sure that you have a lot of salt in your diet. I specifically like Element, LMNT, as electrolytes. So sugar-free electrolytes can help if you get withdrawal symptoms. What else can help? A little extra fat in your diet can help. So some nut milks will have like added sugars, like the barista blends and stuff. I think they have added sugars, but there's plenty of almond milks and cashew milks and all the milks that you can get that don't have added sugar. Remember, like if you have a little bit of whole milk, not a big deal. Like even half and half has a little bit of sugar, but it's like lactose. It's natural sugar. I'm not really worried about that. Same with like your Greek yogurt. It will be like sugar-free. It'll be no added sugar. Do you guys see the difference? Like one's added and one is lactose. It's like it just comes a part of the dairy. Okay, it's up to you on the snacks. I do love 3 meals. I do. I think it's great. But this is up to you too. So remember, you guys, you may get a couple withdrawal symptoms, just feeling like a little tired or a little irritable or maybe a little headachy. Most people don't though. But if you do, extra salt, a little extra fat, and then also it takes a week or 2, maybe a little bit more depending, to balance your hunger hormones. So if you're hungry this week, that's normal. That's okay. You will get there and it will feel like magic. I promise. I promise you. Okay. Any other questions before we end? You don't need to focus on calories. No. That's why I say no seconds. Don't like gorge yourself. Inside the Yummy Mummy, I teach the hunger scale. Like I really like to teach my clients to eat to satiated. We've been taught as a society to eat until you're full. That's hard on your body. See if you can eat to you're sated. And what's funky about that is sometimes it can take a little bit for your body to catch up. A lot of us are overeating. Like, have you seen the Europeans? Have you seen how much they eat? It's not that much. We've been trained as Americans to think we need a lot more food than we do. Seriously, so interesting. I have a hard time giving up sugar pop. Okay, so you could, again, sugar pop, Coke, whatever. I don't know. Everybody calls it something different depending where they live. So for that, I really want to recommend you do a Band-Aid, like a diet something, or I'm like kind of into the Zevias lately. I think that is our call for today. So good. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm so excited. It's going to be so fun. Really, you guys, hold the belief, hold the possibility. Be willing to suspend the disbelief. Be willing to suspend, oh, maybe I am a special unicorn. Be willing to borrow my belief in you that you can do this. You really can. I thought I couldn't. All my clients, they can't. And then they do. I have too much proof now. So borrow my belief in you that you can do this, that this is it. This is the game changer. This is the moment. This is the linchpin. Okay? So much more fun to believe anyways. And did you guys know you can believe whatever you want? You really can. Okay. I love you all already. Any questions? Just hit me up. Love you. Bye. Hey, if you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, I would love it if you leave a rate, review, and a subscribe on whatever you're listening to this podcast in. Pretty pleased with a cherry on top. It would help me so much, and it would help all the other mamas out there hear this message. thank you in advance. I really appreciate it. And you have to come check out the Yummy Mummy experience. It's my proven lose weight for the last time group coaching and course. Head to lauraconley.com and just click work with me. Other than that, you guys, I would love to give you a free gift. If you want your free listener only gift, go to lauraconley.com/gift. And from there, you will get your free best ever weight loss hack. So cool. The last thing I want to tell you, you guys, is I do have a free Facebook group. It's called, you guessed it, The Yummy Mummy. Lose weight for the last time, end body drama, and get food freedom. You can just search that in Facebook, or again, you can head to the show notes and you'll find the link there. All right, you guys, have the best day ever.